Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Morning. I am your host, Patricia Romero Wolfson. Thank you for being with me today, even though we were running a little behind. But, life happens and you have to adjust accordingly and go with the flow. So, thank you for those of you who are coming on a little bit later than usual. So, I am an intuitive coach and an energy healer, wife and mom of 3 boys. And my mission is to teach you how to, number one, calibrate your energy. Number two, how to integrate self-care into easy and doable steps. And number three, how to embrace your own natural gifts to achieve a life you love. And here's something that's interesting. I got to fix this mic. Thank you. Is that very often the natural gifts that we have are kind of sometimes things that we really get annoyed with ourselves about. They are qualities in us that we sometimes want to change or shift or get rid of. And very often, those are the exact qualities that make us unique and special, and that really are the pathway to discovering our purpose and mission. So, just putting that out there for you. So today, our topic is how to say yes to yourself, daily energy management, because, it is our responsibility to navigate the energy. That is why I talk about calibrating your energy so often, is because all you can do is calibrate your energy. We're always, facing different things and walking into the world, and we are being offered all sorts of stimuli and challenges and things that we need to address and deal with in our lives. And the only thing that you really have absolute control over is your energy, is your perspective, and that's going to help you face whatever it is you need to face. Hi, good morning, Mom. Good morning, Meredith. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that you guys are with me. All right, so let's get started. And for anyone who's new to Me First Mornings, I just want to remind you and suggest that you go ahead and download your free GPS workbook. The Me First system that I like to use, that I like to talk about, really is, I call it the Me First formula, but it's like a method, a system, a plan. It's really just a way for you to recognize that there are different channels that you can tune, right? So Me First is an acronym, MEFIRST. The M is for momentum, the E is for energy, F is for focus and frequency, I is for inner work, R is for relationships, S is for showing up, and T is for trust. And so these are always little areas that we can tweak in our life, tweak energetically, so that we can improve our day-to-day existence, right? And so my core passion is to show you how you make these little tweaks so that you can make life a little bit easier for yourself, because life is tough. Life can be challenging. We are always navigating all sorts of things. So how can we navigate them so that we have more enjoyment? How can we find more not just enjoyment, but fulfillment and joy, and sort of find our way so we can get into the flow of life? So please go ahead and download your free GPS workbook. That's going to help you with coming up with your own coordinates, your own GPS coordinates, which really comes down to, like, what do you want to feel like? How do you want to walk and move through the world? Maybe even what changes do you want to make, because there are areas in your life you'd like to improve. And I say improve, not change or eliminate, because I think that anything that you're doing for yourself is usually something that you need. And we need to take away the guilt and shame of how we take care of ourselves and focus on what can we do to take care of ourselves a little bit better. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, specifically in terms of taking care of our energy. So let's begin right away by starting our little morning ritual. And this is a great way for you to kick off your day, or something that you can go back to in your day if you find that you're feeling a little lost or disconnected, or not grounded or not centered, right? If you're feeling like things are getting a little crazy, or you're feeling overwhelm or anxiety or anything that doesn't feel good in your body, you can step back, take a moment, and redo this little exercise that we're going to do together. I find that it's often very helpful. So let's start with doing our routine. So the first thing I like to do is lighting a candle. So here we go. Okay. There we go. We light our candle to begin and initiate this little sacred ritual that we do every morning together. And go ahead and grab your essential oils. I put on makeup today, people. What do you think? I don't put on makeup every day, but I do enjoy having my face done. All right, so little essential oils. Smell it, smell it, smell it. Now take it. I don't know if any of you watch The Zohan, one of our favorite movies here at home. We love Adam Sandler. All right, so a little. Oh, thank you, Meredith. Thank you. Yes, I don't always do it, but sometimes I do. Okay, smell that beautiful, whatever essential oil you choose. You don't have to use any essential oils. I like to use it because it sort of takes me right into the place that I need to be. It immediately relaxes my system because it is a scent that makes me feel really good and connected. So you can find whatever that scent is for you, or just don't use any essential oils. We're just going to take some deep breaths. So you don't have to worry about having to do anything. That's what the Me First system is about. The whole Me First formula is really you have to come up with what works for you, right? And it's called Me First because you need to put yourself first. I need to put myself first, and I'm going to show you how I do that and the things that I do in order to sort of build my day around what it is that I need. Of course, when my foundation is strong, then I'm much more equipped to deal with whatever comes my way. And that's the whole plan. Okay, so we lit our candle. We got our essential oils. Now, feel free to, I like to use my crystal spheres to do this breathing exercise because the clear quartz amplifies, and I like to amplify, but you don't have to use anything. Sometimes I don't use them either. You don't have to use clear quartz. You can use whatever crystal you want or no crystal if that's what you choose. It's all good. Okay. Lena, good morning. Linda, hi. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. So let's take our deep breath together. All right. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. Sorry, as I'm adjusting my seat. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. And with each breath, we are going to imagine just opening up to the heavens, right? We're going to imagine opening up this area, which, is like the crown chakra area. We're going to just open that up, and we're just going to imagine receiving all of that heavenly light, all of that beautiful heavenly healing light through our head, right? Through this way. And then we're also going to imagine that our legs planted firmly on the ground, they're going to like soak up and bring in all of that nourishing, healing earth energy. So we're bringing the heaven energy and the earth energy and allowing those 2 beautiful healing light energies to blend in our body. And just imagine that it's traveling your whole body, permeating all of your cells, just cleansing anything that is not working for you, maybe dissipating and breaking apart any of that heavy, stuck, or stagnant energy. Anything dense, we're going to use that healing energy to just sort of break it apart and release it. So when you exhale, you're going to release any of that energy that doesn't serve you, and just imagine it being removed with that exhale. And we're going to do this 3 times. And really, that's all you need. You can do it as many times as you want if you're doing this on your own. But if you're doing it with me, 3 times is enough for you to just calm the system down and get yourself into a place of really good, like a good foundational place to begin. Okay, here we go. Deep breath in and hold and release. Okay, one more time. Let's take a deep breath in. Imagine that your entire body is just increasing its capacity to receive that life force energy. Deep breath in and hold and release. Okay, and let's do that one last time. Deep breath in. It's 11:11. Deep breath in and hold and release. Okay, my insides are ready to speak there. Okay. Allow any sort of natural energy shifting, burping, yawning, anything that you feel your body is like doing. All of that is normal. That is releasing any sort of stuck, stagnant, tense energy, right? And now let's do that. Let's get rid of the tension in our bodies, okay? So we're going to stretch. Oh, stretch those arms, stretch that head. I was going to say those legs. You can stretch your legs too, but you can't see my legs. So I am stretching them underneath my desk. All right. Just stretch. And what the stretching does is it removes the tension. So what we want is we want to release any of that stuck, stagnant energy, which I keep talking about, but it's really important to get things moving and to release the things that don't serve you. And you can do that, with movement. Oh, last sound. Good morning. Okay, so we want to just move. The shoulders are really where I carry a lot of tension, so I do a lot of these motions, right? And you want to loosen it up. You want to remove any of that tension because when you're able to move easily, right? And movement is such key, and that's why it's like the first letter of, momentum is the first letter of me first because momentum and movement is really important to keep shifting energy, right? You want to take advantage of the momentum and you want to make sure that you're feeling flexible and free. Wherever there is tension, we want to remove it if possible because where there's tension, there's stuck energy. And we don't want stuck energy. We want the energy to keep moving and flowing through us. Okay, so and now that we've done our breathing and now we're going to shake out any of that tension, right? This too, shake it out. Okay, feeling much looser. All right, shake it out. Beautiful. Now we're going to set our intentions and say a prayer, and we're going to ask for support, right? And you can do this in any way you want. This is your me first ritual. I have a prayer that I created. You can create your own prayer or you can follow along with mine. But first, let us just take a moment to think about what is your intention for the day? How do you want to feel today? What do you want to bring into your life today? What is important for you to make happen today in terms of connecting with yourself and being in alignment with who you want to be because we already are that person. You already are the person that you want to be. And so what we sometimes need is a reminder, right? And that's why I talk a lot about the GPS. Let's choose the intention, which will be the coordinates that we put into our GPS system. So today's coordinates are going to be, I want to feel peaceful. So you put that in, I want to feel peaceful. And that way, when you're navigating your day, you have to remind yourself, check back in with your GPS and say, hey, is this, is choosing this, is this going to make my day a little bit more peaceful or less peaceful? Or if I accomplish this, will I feel more peace after? So that becomes the main, the main foundation for you to make your decisions throughout the day, right? Where you're deciding what might be a priority or what is important to work on or how to manage your energy for the day. You have to think about what is your intention for the day? What did you put into your GPS coordinates? Which means like, where are you headed? Where do you want to go? And so you have to make those choices accordingly. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that once we're done in this portion. So right now, just take a moment, think about what you intend to bring into your day, and I will say the prayer for us, okay? Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of infinite consciousness connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame
burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us to raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. All right. Good morning, Dad. I love you too. Thank you for being here. Okay, so let's pull a card and see what the energies are saying today. And as I said, we're going to be talking a lot about energy and how to take care of yourself today. A lot. Well, for the rest of the show, that's what our discussion is going to be revolving around, and how to take care of yourself. And so let's see what the cards have to say about what is that you need to do to take care of yourself, not just today, but every day. Let's see if the cards have a little hint or suggestion or what they have to say about saying yes to yourself, right? Now, we are going to talk about this because how do you say yes to yourself? How do you say no to yourself, right? Maybe we should start with that. And when you're saying no to yourself, it is because you are saying yes to things outside of you that do not connect with you, right? So sometimes we're saying yes to things that we don't feel good about, or when we're saying yes to obligations that we don't want to have. And this isn't about, we all have responsibilities and we have to take care of those responsibilities. But within those responsibilities, very often we have the tendency, especially as women, especially as mothers, we have the tendency, well, anybody who's a caregiver really have the tendency to put other people's needs before our own. And, I can definitely relate to that as a mom of 3 kids. And, very often my kids' needs are, do come first, or have come first. But what I've learned most about my past 13 years as a mom is that if I don't take care of myself, and I know we hear this all the time, if I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of my kids, blah, blah, blah. And then as a mom, you're probably going, yeah, but who the frick has time, right? But it's not necessarily about doing any sort of self-care routine, so to speak, because whenever we think about self-care, we're like, I don't have time to go get a mani-pedi. I can't afford to go to a spa, and we think of those things as the self-care, but really self-care comes in the form of energetically doing what feels right for you, right? And saying no to the things that you do not feel in alignment with. Oh my God, I have cards falling. There was too many cards that fell there, so I'm not going to take that as a message, but maybe that I need to pull the card. But saying yes to the things that you are in alignment with and saying no to the things that do not resonate with you. So if you are making a decision and that decision involves guilt or shame, or you are making the decision because you feel like you should make that decision, that is the first indicator. That's your little red flag. If you say to yourself, I really should do this, where you need to stop and really think about whether or not that should has been imposed by society or by limiting beliefs or by people in your life who make you feel like you need to show up in a certain way, right? Or this is like an obligation that you are expected to fulfill because of whatever role you have, according to society, or even your own family history of the way it's always been, which gets us caught up in those things. Or the other side is looking at it and saying, is this, because you may not want to do something and want to say no, but it's actually important for you to do, or really good for your long-term well-being. So you need to ask yourself, is this, doing this, focusing on this, will this benefit me in the long run? Now, I don't want it to be confused where you can only do things that benefit you, but you have to think of the energetic benefits, and you have to think of whether or not, is your resistance to doing something because you feel like you should do it, or is the resistance because that thing you need to do is going to bring you growth and maybe you're a little nervous about doing it? Or it's something that you don't want to do, but is good for you. Now, I use like cleaning as an example all the time, because who the hell likes cleaning? I mean, some people do. I'm not going to take it away from you, because some people really find a lot of pleasure in cleaning. Um, and I was going to say not me, but that's not true. I actually find pleasure in it, but before I actually get to cleaning, I really resist cleaning. But I know that in the long run, that once I clean or organize or declutter or whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm going to feel so much better. So in a case like that, if my GPS word is spaciousness, which it has been in the past, and it's always something very present for me, that's how I want to feel at home, is spacious. Well, then then a very good action that I can take in order to feel spacious is to actually remove things from my home or to create space. So I may not want to create space because the idea of organizing or decluttering or anything like is just too much for me or feels overwhelming. But I know that once I figure out how to do it, or once I just start doing it, I'm going to feel much better, and I'm going to get to that coordinate. I am going to get to that GPS location that I want, which is the spaciousness. So in a case like that, it becomes very clear what the answer is, or what is a good way to spend your time and energy. Is like, oh, spaciousness is what I want to create in my life. Then I need to do things that are going to make me feel spacious. I need to create space in my life, and whatever that looks like to you. Okay, let's pull a card and then we'll go back to this. Because this is an important discussion. Okay. Okay. I love this card, and it makes total sense. All right, here we go. Look at this. So this card is, got to go there, number 11, balancing act. You guys, if you've been listening to me, you know how I feel about the word balance. But life is a balancing act, whether or not we want to accept it or believe it. But what the balance is the balance of connecting with what we truly want and finding the path that makes us feel like we're in the flow. Because if you think of balance, right, the first thing, like, we think of a scale, right, and sort of like this kind of feeling, right? But if you imagine a scale and you start like putting things on one side or the other, balance is when they're even, right? But life is always in motion. So you never have a perfectly balanced scale. You never have a perfectly balanced life. But what you do have is flow, right? So if you imagine this scale that is constantly in motion, right? And you don't want it to like go like this or like this, because you're going to fall off. If you're standing on either side of the scale, you're going to fall off, right? Or if you imagine even standing like with your legs one on each scale, it's almost like skateboarding or whatever. Or, well, your legs aren't apart with skateboarding, but you can think about finding that balance, finding that place where it's like, oh, this feels really nice. And sometimes you're going this way and sometimes you're going that way. The other image I'm getting is like skiing, right? When you're skiing, you kind of, you have to plant your feet, on the hill in such a way, but then like go with the motion and flow one way or the other way. You can't just go all the way down the hill like this, right? Yeah, there has to be some give and take. There has to be some flow. And that's what we need to achieve in life with this balancing act, right? The balancing act really is navigating everything that's coming at you and being able to stay on your feet. So how can you stay on your feet in your life, right? If there's an area in your life that's feeling very heavy, right? Maybe it really requires your attention. Maybe you're going through something big in your life, and that's going to require all of your attention. But you cannot give it 100% of your attention, because if you're just focusing on whatever this particular challenge is in your life, then you're leaving everything else unattended, right? And what do we say about energy? Energy wants to be seen, energy wants to be witnessed. And so often we think if we're going through something rough or traumatizing or whatever, that we cannot feel any joy. But the truth is that we are complex human beings, right? We have so many emotions, and you can feel both joy and despair, from different angles. You can feel relief and sadness. You can feel so many things at once. And really, it's about navigating those feelings so that you can acknowledge them and then continue in the flow of life. And I'm going to get more and more specific about these things with my own personal examples. But it's really important for you to understand that balancing, and this card really, I love that this card came up. Balancing, it really is about when you feel like you're going too much one way, right? You have to correct yourself. Okay, I've used skiing, I've used skateboarding. Well, let's look at a bicycle, right? Like bicycle is the same thing, right? In order for you to stay like this, you're still pedaling with both feet, right? And you're still going along like this, right? And if you only pedal with one, you're just going to go this way, right? You're just going to go in one direction. You don't want to just go in one direction. You want to be able to keep going forward. And that requires a little bit of give and take from all the areas. And so that's what I really want you to keep in mind is that, and the thing is that we have our energetic indicators are always communicating with us, which is like our body. Our body is an energetic indicator. Our mind is an energetic indicator. Our senses are always sensing energy. And so when you feel a shift in your energy, or when you feel overwhelmed or anything, any emotion, that is the way that your energy is communicating with you, right? Because emotions are energy in motion. So if you're feeling something that's not feeling good in your body, it's an opportunity for you to think about where do I need to lean in order for me to sort of shift how this is going, right? Because you want to keep moving forward, right? You want to stay in the flow. So in order to stay in the flow, you may have to say no to certain things. You may have to say yes to certain things, but always, 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 you have to think about what your intention is, how you want to navigate through your life, and make sure it is going through that filter, that GPS filter when you're making your decisions. Sometimes when we are faced with really serious things, and if you speak to anybody who might be facing sort of a life-altering diagnosis, illness in their life, or even chronic autoimmune issues, when you're faced with something like that, specifically in terms of health, when you're facing a health issue, it sort of forces you to shut everything else down and think about only yourself. And you say, okay, what do I need to do to take care of myself? So the goal of this show is I don't want you to get to a place where, you have an illness that now forces you to put yourself first, right? I want you to put yourself first now and, hopefully prevent any sort of illness coming your way. Not that you can prevent it completely, okay? I am not going to be the person to tell you that, if you eat clean and think clean and all this, you'll be perfectly fine, because life throws you curveballs. You can be the healthiest person on the planet, always taking care of yourself, and you can still end up with a devastating diagnosis of whatever, So you cannot control everything in your life, neither through energy, nor through food, nor through attitude. Okay. You can't control everything in your life. But what you want is to create the best conditions possible for you to exist, right? You want to create the circumstances that will keep you motivated, that will keep you moving forward, that will keep you feeling good about yourself and what you do. Because very often, when you do look after yourself, you will feel good. You will feel better. And all we need to do sometimes is work on that guilt and shame that we may feel because of focusing on ourselves, because society has taught us that, it is a selfless, like that a selfless act is some sort of amazing character trait. Now, it is a great character trait to be someone who can be selfless, who can give without the expectation of receiving. But if you are not taking care of yourself and you're just giving, 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 then you are not taking care of yourself. And that means you are not being mindful of your own presence, of your own body, of your contribution, right? You can't fix everybody else's stuff and then have your own stuff like be a mess. You need to make sure that you are taken care of, that you are doing whatever you need to do to be able to navigate through the world in as much alignment as possible, feeling as good as you can. It won't always be good. You won't always feel amazing, but you want the best opportunity to come from a place that feels good, right? Because if energy is flowing out of you, which it is at all times, and you are paying attention to that energy and you're making sure that energy is as clear as possible, that it is shining as bright as possible, that is your contribution. That is your mission in life, is to make sure that your light is shining as brightly as it can. But if you are ignoring your light, if you are hiding your light, if you are not focusing or paying attention to your light, then you are not only doing yourself a disservice, but you're doing a disservice to everybody, because you are teaching those around you, and especially if you have children, that your light doesn't matter, only theirs, right? And so if children are watching, they're going to be like, oh, my light doesn't matter, only the people around me. And we don't want to teach that, and we don't want to pass that on, because that is what we're dealing with right now. That is why we have so many people disconnected from themselves, totally overwhelmed, totally depressed, because we are not looking out for ourselves. And all we feel is guilt and shame for taking care of ourselves. Of course, unless we're looking our best, then we're supposed to feel good, right? Then we're doing the right thing for us. But it's not just about looking your best. It is about feeling your best. It is about emitting your highest frequency possible. And I really, really hope and anticipate that if you take some of my pointers and really participate in the Me First mornings, I'm hoping that you are going to be able to see how putting yourself first is actually the greatest gift that you can give to everyone in your life. Okay, so I am here every Monday through Friday, usually at 10 a.m. Today was a little late, but that's just life sometimes. So meet me at 10 a.m. EST, and I will be here with another Me First Morning every day. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube page, then please go to Jumpstart for Change on YouTube, subscribe, and ding that notification button, and that will let you know when I'm going on live. So even if I do change the times, which will not happen unless I have some sort of situation I need to deal with that I can't alter otherwise, then you will always see me here at 10 a.m. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day. I know I mentioned that I was going to teach you guys an energy quick morning exercise to help you calibrate each day. I know that we did the heart energy exercise the other day, and I will show you a few more energy exercises, but I want to wrap up today. So come back tomorrow and I will show you the energy. I will show you like a grouping of energy exercises that I do myself, that I teach my kids to do, and very often will help us just calibrate the physical energy that we can. So I will be sharing that with you tomorrow. I hope to see you then. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you later. Bye.